state competition, you could have had some athletes who also were contesting individual events at the regional, but they didn't qualify for the state. So they're going to be fresh. They're going to be going just one race. They're going all out to try to get state gold for their team.
And we are off with this two-way 4x8, and that's Croatan out in that middle lane in the black uniform. It looks like Tyler Robinson out well. Looks like they're going to put Michael Quispy on the anchor going against Noah Graham.
All right, so they break on the top of the back straightaway. So it is Croatan in front. They are wearing, again, number 2 in this race, just like they did in the girls 4x8 before it. So
see if we see a similar strategy from them, try to get a big lead and see if we have Brevard reeling them in. But indoors, we saw Brevard kind of use a unique strategy, put their fastest 2 legs on the 3rd and 4th legs. We'll see if they do the same today because it did work out for them indoors.
All right, right now in second is North Brunswick, and then coming up on the outside, that is number 9, that is First Flight. So again, seeing those same colors up front, but this time a lot closer after an opening 400, going through in about 58 and change, and that's what we see, 58 and change for the first 400 in this first leg of the boys 4x8 4-2A.
And you see Franklin battling for third place right behind the leaders. First Flight out of the East. I believe they were the East Regional champions this year, but I mean, they don't see a ton of competition, so that 8:33 time could be crushed today. And I believe that is Skylar Schultz of First Flight passing Tyler Robinson at a Croatan.
All right, we do have about 7 teams within 10 meters thus far after 600 in this opening leg of the 4x8. So again, First Flight in the lead, Croatan in second. In third right now is Durham School of the Arts. They're wearing number 14. As we bring you this live from Aggie Stadium on Flow Track, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 2A Boys 4x8 Championship. First Flight and Croatan going to the line. After the first leg, they went through in 58, did the leadoff runner for Croatan, and it looks like we're going to get a sub-2 carry out of First Flight, just under 2 flat. So it is First Flight, Croatan.
Believe Brevard.
Brevard in third, and again, they were the number 1 seed coming up, having run 8:15.
Yep. And then it looks like fourth is Durham School of the Arts. Now for First Flight, you got Blaze Rodman. He's been battling back. He was in a major car accident this summer and missed all across country. Plays basketball as well and barely made it back for the end of that season, but very remarkable kind of comeback from Rodman. For Croatan, and it looks like Joseph Bolfer with the stick now. He takes the lead from from Rodman. That is Alex Rodman's cousin, in fact.
So obviously you see a lot of multi-sport athletes at the 2A school level where you don't have the class size to really pick from. But it is Croatan and First Flight 1-2. They have about 10 meters back to Brevard in third. The opening leg for the leaders was about 2 flat, and the opening 400 like here of 58. So again, about a similar pace to that first leg for this 4x8 in 2A.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are going to be right close to the 8-minute barrier. You can see Brevard back in third. They do have that same strategy from indoor season with their fastest 2 legs. And seniors Andrew Robinson and Noah Graham are going to be chasing down Croatan. This is just what we saw indoors. I'm getting really excited for these next 2 legs to go about. But Croatan pulling away from First Flight.
But then Brevard is closing the gap then on First Flight in second. And also in fourth place
is Franklin.
Franklin, okay, they're in red and black. So we have Croatan, First Flight, Brevard, and Franklin closing the gap on Brevard.
And after that, looks like Lake Norman Charter and Durham School of the Arts in 5th and 6th currently. Croatan, big lead here. It looks like First Flight, Brevard, and are both tightening up, and Croatan's just extending that lead. They're going to make it tough on Brevard and First Flight on these anchor legs here.
All right, just over 2 for this second leg in the 4x8. They open at a 2 flat. We get about a 2:04 carry out of the second leg for Croatan. And at the line, it looks like Brevard in second, but now First Flight takes it back from them on the inside lane. And Franklin is the third in that trio. And Franklin actually going to pass to get themselves into second place, but they're 40 meters behind Croatan, similar to how things played out in the girls' race. Croatan went out and tried to run and hide.
Yeah, and Croatan's got a contender in Michael Quispy on the anchor here for the Open 800 title. He won the 2A East last weekend with a 159, so, I mean, it's going to be tough. That's a tough guy to reel in right there if you're Noah Graham and a 157 guy.
All right, so we went 2 flat, 2:04 for the first 2 legs. Brevard went 8:15 how much lower do you think these teams are going to run today? Do you think 8:10 is a possibility for the winner?
Yeah, I believe definitely under 8:10 is what I'm expecting from Croatan if they keep this pace. I mean, the strong middle distance guys are very deep for a 2A program, and I kind of expected this possibly could come out. But you look back in second, you'll see Brevard's Andrew Robinson, a UNC Charlotte commit, is trying to make up the ground. He's a 3,200 5K guy, probably more likely, but he puts it together on these 800s 4x8s well for his teammates.
Man, he's a solid 40 meters behind Croatan right now.
But he looks like he's rolling if you see him. You'll see him come on the screen in a second.
With first flight, another 10 meters back in third, Franklin in fourth, but Croatan still well in front.
Yeah.
Their third leg also put out another 58-second opener. So each of these three legs is open in 58, and just see how they can bring it back in that second 400. I've always called it, when I ran it and coached it, the 400 dash, 400 die. So, so again, 58 for the opener, and we'll see. Croatan still has a very comfortable margin, and I don't know.
50 meters now. I don't know.
Does Brevard have an anchor that can close this?
I mean, they have a guy, Noah Graham. He's running 4:15 in the 1600. I mean.
And two flat for the third leg for Croatan.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to challenge
plus.
8 minutes here with Michael Quispe if he can get a good run. He was indoor 500 champion. I mean, he's certainly a middle distance stud.
And he's
about
70
meters now. It's looks to be over unless Noah Graham can do a miracle here on the anchor leg.
So Graham is senior, Quispe a junior. But again, as Jason said, the 500 indoor champion in North Carolina. He's got about 70 to 75 meters.
Yep. On
this Irwin Belk track here at Aggie Stadium in Greensboro. They handed off the baton at 6:04. So again, the sub 8:10 is
I'd say
massive
it's uncertain
improvement.
unless Quispe saves some energy here. But I mean,
what else does he have the rest of the day?
He's got definitely got the 4x4 and open 800.
All right.
So
Michael Quispe, a junior from Croatan at 7 flat, so he went out in 56, so a little faster. But here's Noah Graham.
He's made up some ground. I mean, he made
8.5 seconds back.
Yeah, I mean, he's gained ground on third, but I mean, it's too much to make up at this point. Quispe looking back though, maybe he's tightening up.
So
or
Graham,
maybe he's just seeing how much he can save.
Graham and Brevard in second. Quispe in first for Croatan, and first flight is in third.
Very good run from first flight. I mean, they're the 9th seed coming in, running 8:33. That's going to be a huge season best for these boys. Kata with Jesse Ballou on anchor, the 400-meter runner. He's made up a lot of ground. He was back in like 8th or 9th, and he's sitting in 4th looking at taking down first flight.
All right, so Quispe just took a glance over his inside shoulder. So you said he looked like he's tying up a little bit. He's still got 75 meters. This is his to win. How low can they go? How close can they get to 8 flat? They went 8:17.33 at the regional, and they're going to cut a chunk off that. It almost hit 8 minutes. Wow,
yeah, I mean,
an amazing run by Croatan. 8:04 as he raises the baton toward the sky. Second will be Brevard holding off first flight.
Very good run by first flight. That's like a 20-second season best at the state championships. They almost took down Brevard and Noah Graham there.
So it looks like the first 4 teams went faster than the fastest time coming in. A great run by these 4x8 boys 2A teams. So the winner, Croatan, 8:04.03, 8:11.13 Brevard, and 8:11.52 first flight. So those 3 out front took a chunk off the fastest regional time coming in. So it looks like those coaches knew how to prep their athletes, get them peaking at the right time. Again, they go 8:04 for Croatan to win the 2A boys 4x8 state championship.
Yeah, I mean, how stressful is that for a coach? You got a girls team and a boys team contending back-to-back. Luckily, the boys walked away and the girls took third. We'll see if Jerry Williams is happy with that performance from our athletes. But
and the Croatan coach, he was watching them both play out, so I wonder, how long into that anchor leg